What up, everyone? This is Mr. Lord, Dr. Professor, Dark Joker, here with another edition of Traditional Fans with Opinions, where I'll give my reviews for whoever I watched, read, or played today. And who are Traditional Fans with Opinions? That is myself, and that is you, the viewers. With all that being said, on with the reviews. South Park, Season 28, Episode 5, and full season. So, in this one, Stan, who's not happy about his living circumstances. Um, Basically goes to Jesus for counseling, but that doesn't work out, so he prays. Now he prays at toilet to a toilet, so he's hoping for Mr. Hanky, of course. Then the woodland critters appear. Stan's confused because they were creatures that Cartman thought of. Basically, woodland critters tell Stan that the Antichrist is about to be born. Basically, they want his help to help defend from Peter Thiel and anyone else. And so, while Donald Trump and J.D. Vance are in South Park, they get Peter Thiel and Pete Hegseth out of prison, then work to try to kill the Antichrist, like the baby. So, like, so Satan is doing laundry, finds Towley, cleans off Towley, and Towley explains that he knows about Trump advances plans, explains everything to Satan, so Satan goes to South Park and yells at Trump and then goes into labor. Then, and Satan, so Jesus is siding with Trump and Vance. And so one they're concerned with Jesus on Trump's side that they'll be invincible. But then Jesus defects to Satan's side after basically he's told that like Stan calls out for like losing faith in himself. So basically like so you have the character so Jesus became like the caricature that the left likes to betray Christians as. Like basically the caricature that Christians have been portrayed as in media for a little while. Basically that's what it's like a bunch of dude bro like the whole dude bro like obsession with only the libs, like the whole caricature. That's what they portray Jesus. But then Jesus sides with Stan, so but while the seance is going on, a doctor informs everyone that the baby um within the womb hung itself and basically some of the footage and the ultrasound was lost. Basically the death is very similar to Jeffrey Epstein's death, where footage missing, hanging, all that stuff. Like it's meant to be an Epstein joke. So Satan leaves the White House. Trump celebrates the baby's death, and Jesus basically gives the Martians like their old house. So Stan's back like in his house. And obviously you have all this stuff. So now as far as how Bunny goes, who knows how? Because Randy still has to get a job. So yeah, as far as this episode goes, I didn't like it. Here's the thing with the Trump jokes. Like season 27, its Trump jokes were a lot better than season 28's. Like season 28, like when the jokes weren't focused on Trump, it was freaking funny. Like really good jokes. And thing is, there were a lot previous episodes in this season that had jokes that weren't about Trump. And those would have been things. If Trump was involved in any of those episodes, you would have had really good episodes. Like really good. Like They were still decent, 'cause at least they were funny. This episode was all about Trump. Like, it wasn't even funny. South Park is supposed to be funny. This wasn't really funny. And it had the woodland critters, which is like a source of dark humor, and it wasn't funny. Like, I hope with this, with the Antichrist being dead, with all that stuff, that basically we don't focus on Trump in the next season. I'm assuming we're getting season 29, because I think based on what the deal is, like the whatever deal that Trey Parker and Matt Stone signed with Paramount, I believe there is season 29. I hope they don't make it just turn into a whole Trump show. Like the Mr. Garrison Trump, the President Garrison jokes were so much better, and you'll obviously like they're rehashing old jokes. Like, and yeah, like season 27, you had some good Trump jokes. There were some really good ones. They were actually really funny. Season 28, it wasn't as funny. But when they didn't focus on Trump, it was freaking hilarious. But this episode, since they didn't, since it was all Trump, it sucked. Like, this is probably the first South Park episode that I've not liked. And I've seen a lot of South Park. Like, the only episodes I've not watched are the 5 that are banned. So I've seen a lot of South Park. I've not really hated one. This is the only episode that I've actually not liked. It doesn't feel right not liking a South Park episode. But I didn't like this episode. The other ones, I was fine with. I thought they were decent. I got a little annoyed by the Trump jokes, but there's still some good enough humor to where where they're watchable. But this episode, no, it sucked. Thankfully, the Antichrist stuff's out of the way, and hopefully they move on from Trump and move on to basically just do go back to classic South Park style humor, make fun of everyone, like then do some non-Trump related jokes, because you know they're still able to do that very well, but they need to steer away from Trump because it's just embarrassing at this point. Like like basically making it all about Trump. Yeah, it's not a good look for him. It's not a good idea. Like if they're at least being funny, that'd be one thing, but right at right now they're not being funny. Early on, when they're starting out with how they're handling Trump, they were actually being funny, but now it's not. So I think they need to stop it and focus on regular South Park stuff. So yeah, I did not like this episode, but I did like this season overall. It was decent. It was a decent season. So yeah, hopefully we get another season. Beavis and Butthead, season 11, and full episode 12 and full season. So yeah, so the segments for this episode. So the first segment, you have old Beavis and Butthead going to a pharmacy try to get some meds for Beavis. Uh, Basically, Beavis hears like some guy who's having an issue getting missing say that he has to do everything alone, so he goes in the back, starts taking a bunch of random meds, and basically gets high off them, turns into Cornholio. So it's the first time we've seen the Cornholio alter ego in his old as an old person. So he like goes crazy, like the cashier calls the cops. He like takes like a scooter out in the streets, and people think he's like a terror. He's like doing terrorist stuff. So this one cop, knowing that he real after learning that Beavis has the same disease, one disease that Beavis has, he has, decides to pay for his Beavis's medicine. And Beavis like causes a building to catch on fire, and he's on fire. So yeah, he just causes a bunch of random destruction. It's old Holio, and it's freaking funny. Then the second segment, so Smart Beavis and Smart Butthead are sent to Earth, to normal Earth, to with a beacon. so that the smart humans are able to like basically replace the humans, regular humans. And so when Scorpion and Smart Head go there before they place the beacon, they find in the store find these magazines. They don't know what they're for, and Tom Harrison sees them. Explains that they're for basically they're for spanking their monkeys. And when they don't know what it is, because I guess no one on their planet does it, uh, Mr. Tom Harrison explains it. So then, Smart Beavis and Butthead, they take the magazines and use it for research purposes. So after a little while, they like so the fleet is trying to find Earth, and without the beacon, they have to Smart Van Dersen tries to basically wing it. So like, but that causes like everyone to crash. So Smart Beavis and Butthead are taken to like the council lever. They're they explain that they discovered spanking their monkeys, what that was. So they send over data about how to do it. And once the council, and after all of this, the council convenes. All the men vote to exonerate Smart Beavis Butthead, while Smart Daria wants to convict. And so yeah, so basically says that they're called the Discoverers because they discovered spanking their monkeys. I thought this was a great episode. Good way to end the season. This whole season's been freaking funny. Like a really good comedy show. So yeah, I really like, and thankfully we're getting season 12. So yeah, I really like these episodes. Like this whole season was good. This episode was good. So yeah, I look forward to the next season. The American Revolution. So this is a documentary series by Kim Burns for PBS. Once I heard about it, but I didn't know it was on Hulu till recently. So once I learned it was on Hulu, I got around to binge watching it. It took a while because you had 2 hours per episode, 6 episodes. So yeah, it took a while. But yeah, it basically goes through some of the history of the revolution, events leading up to it, surrounding it. It's a lot of emphasis on like the women and the slaves, you know, to where it seems like some like the more major figures are sidelined a little bit. So yeah, so it goes through some of the battles and all that, and why George Washington was made the commander in chief. Like when the war really escalated, and so yeah, so I didn't like it the way some things were worded, the way like they called the Tories like conservatives, whatever, which I would not say that. Like yeah, so basically like it seems like it's forgetting something like some of your bigger pieces. Like if you can do quotes from people from back then, great, that's awesome. Use like people that we know about more. Like, I was not a fan. Like, I just wasn't a fan. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it's like, let's not rewrite history. Like, let's not do that. Like, I would like to just focus on the war. Yeah, focus on what led to it. Like the French and Indian War, Boston Massacre, stuff like that. But yeah, yes, you're supposed to focus on what led to it. And as far as the war goes, like a lot of people, there was a lot of people that talk about. I like from an entertainment standpoint, I largely don't care. I care about those that were doing the fighting. And yeah, so I was not a fan of this documentary series. I can't really recommend it. Well, that's it. Did y'all like the stuff I reviewed? And if you have your own opinions about all that, you can put all that in the comments. Thank you for watching, and like, subscribe, and all that. And look forward to the next video.